behaving like a pack of people. This is the last straw. Okay. All right, fellas, hold it down. Well, this is a nice way to wind up.
All right. What's up, Teahive movie nighters? And guess what? That is our new weight screen. I'm kind of happy about that weight screen. I think it is super duper cute. How are you guys? I am getting ready to go through this, through these videos relatively quickly because I want to get my workout on today. And I'm going to be doing more walking today than I thought I was going to be doing. So I want to get through that. All right, so we're just going to kind of jump right into it. And I want to get started with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. First, I want to get this visual up for you guys. And we're not going to play this, but we are going to use it as a guide. And then I also wrote some notes this time to use as a guide so I don't forget nothing that I wanted to say because my brain has been a little boggled today, if you know what I'm talking about. All right. Got my papers together. I'm going to get it together. Let's talk about it. All right. The Real Housewives of Atlanta. First of all, the last episode left off with a bang because we all know that the girl LaToya and Phoebe, Lord, what's her name? Farrah, they got into it. And that girl, even though she little Farron, oh Lord, she seemed like she was about to kick LaToya Ali's ass. But let me tell you what LaToya Ali said. LaToya Ali said that security was holding her back, and if they would have let her go, she would have beat her ass in her own house. That's what she said, Lord. Yes, she did. All right. So Drew was talking to the ladies about throwing them a real party. Okay. She wanted to throw a real girls trip. But you know, Kenya's energy was horrible. Now, this part of the show, the first beginning portions, I felt like they was just lackluster. Like, what are we talking about here? Okay, I could care less what LaToya was saying. LaToya drives me crazy, y'all. I don't think I like her yet. She's gonna have to do something. Okay, and then one thing I do know is that LaToya and Kenya are no longer friends, honey. Definitely not friends because Kenya has had a lot to say about her online recently and it's been very, very ugly. Kenya has been coming at this girl sideways, up, down, left, and right. I said left and right. Yes, I did with a Q-U-E. Hello. But I thought Drew Sidora, she really made a really better effort. A really much better effort. Okay. Than Kenya did at giving a damn about making the ladies comfortable or uncomfortable. And I think that they highlighted that a lot in the show. So it was little things like Kenya wouldn't have food for them ready, whereas Drew would have like all these dinners set up, you know, food in the house, whatever. Kenya would be like, let's go to bed, you know, and stuff like that. And one thing I can't understand about Kenya is that she had really bad energy. So when they arrived, then they got ready to do the room thing, because y'all know how when they arrive, they get there, they do the room thing. Well, they were doing a twerk off. Okay, they were having fun doing the twerk off, you know, right here outside. Just everybody just watching them do what they do. It seemed very fun. They were eating as well because they were hungry coming off of the bus, coming off of the plane. Seemed like they were having a good time. The next thing you know, Drew was like, yeah, so you have to do a twerk off. Hold on. I don't want to lose you guys because my battery is draining. That's what it's telling me. So Drew Sidora says she wants them to do a twerk off for the best room, which they always do. This is not the first time the ladies have been twerking. As a matter of fact, just in the beginning of this season, when Bolo came into play, that girl, Kenya, was dropping it low, backing it up, opening legs, and she had everybody looking at her crazy because everybody was like, what? Look at this. Okay. This is the type of stuff she was doing. This is the type of stuff that was going on that had me like, is she really doing this right now? And not for nothing, that was very sexy. I didn't mind that. I actually liked it. I think that it was more that it was coming from Drew that made Kenya like, I'm not doing that. Okay. So she ended up getting her own room. She paid for her own suite, and she was very upset that Drew gave her the worst room because she was like, I have Brooklyn and you're wrong for that. How could you do that? But so then she stopped answering Drew's phone calls. So when Drew, as the hostess, was calling her to come downstairs, she wasn't coming down, but Cynthia called her. She answered Cynthia's call, okay? And Marlo was busy acting like she had back problems. Now, do I believe that Marlo was having back problems? Hell no. I think Marlo just didn't want to go on this bike ride. And I think that she wanted to skip the exercise. We don't know whether she had just got a tummy tuck. We don't know because that happens. Okay. But yeah, so they ended up getting on the bus, and Kenya, while they were on the bus, Kenya was telling everybody that she upgraded because they were like trying to taunt her. Like, you like your room, Kenya? She's like, oh, yes, I do. I upgraded, and not for nothing. She upgraded to a room bigger than the biggest room that Drew ordered. Okay. But let me say this. I've seen Kenya talking on the backup show. And what I will say is that she had a valid point. Okay. If I'm a grown woman and I have my own money, why the fuck would I feel like I'm obligated to stay in a room that I don't like? That's ridiculous. So I understand Kenya's point. And she said that's what bosses do. Okay. I feel like she's correct. I feel like Drew tried it, even having a small room. For what? Why you couldn't be fair and all the queens have a fair, shot at the rooms, unless production is doing that, because they always do it. So we can't blame it on Drew. Anyway, so Portia and Drew was kikiing, which I love them together, mind you guys. I love me some Portia and Drew. They seem like they're really genuine friends. They seem like they have a lot in common. I really like their vibe. I love the fact that Shamia, first of all, look at Shamia's shoes. Are you guys seeing her shoes, honey? They're plastic boots with a white tip. So the whole boot is plastic, but it just has a white tip. That shit is fly. She looks really good. Cynthia doesn't have on any mask. She has her mask in her hand. She must really trust them girls, okay? But they seem like they're taking really good precautions out here. I don't know if a shield is enough. I think they should be wearing masks and not just shields. But, they are filming. You can't just be filming your face with your face covered up the whole damn time, right? But I really do love these two together. And I think that Drew and Portia have a real friendship. Hold on. So after Kenya told everybody that that she had the worst room, Candy called, or they called Candy, and she said she was on her way. Everybody was really enjoying Drew's trip too. Everybody was really having such a good time that I'm sure that bothered Kenya. I mean, I think that Kenya looks at her job on camera as she's the queen, and this show is hers, and I think that when it comes to newbies and the work environment, she doesn't mind being in a toxic environment, and that's one thing that I don't really like about her. On the other hand, it's very entertaining, but then on the other hand, I'll be feeling for the ladies because I know that they're going to work, and I know that it's a toxic work environment around her. So it just makes me feel really, really bad for them sometimes when she do her outbursts. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that Drew said that was so true is that when Kenya is having a good time, the group dynamic changes. When they're having a good time, they're having a good time. But other than that, she's a toxic work environment. Okay. So they did the little bike ride, whatnots, which, they had a good time. Seemed like they had a good time. Then they went to dinner. Okay. Honey, now this is where I started looking at Drew different, because Drew tried to bust Toya out. Okay. Drew is picking at LaToya for something that is so sensitive that there's no way, if it were me, that I wouldn't have cussed Drew's ass. I mean, and I would have cussed her all the way out. All the way. So Drew is sitting up calling LaToya fake, but Drew is acting fake at the same damn time. So basically, LaToya and Drew have a secret. Okay. LaToya came to Drew's church and she got prayer. She broke down. She cried. She was vulnerable in front of Drew. She was not invited by Drew, but she was vulnerable enough to let her guard down, get prayer, vent about her drinking, and then come on this trip and make an effort to not drink without telling all her business. Now, we know what goes around comes around, and she did that to Kenya. Okay. But Drew was dead wrong. So Drew just decides to bust her out. She's like, why aren't you drinking, LaToya? Just out the clear blue sky. Okay. And the reason why I think Drew did it is because I think that she's friends with Farron, just like Portia. And you see her and Portia are sitting next to each other. They truly play off of each other. They truly do. They're the new freaking frack. Okay. But anyway, so she says, well, why aren't you drinking, LaToya? Just out the clear blue sky. I would have got up and slapped the shit out of Drew, to be honest. Okay. Bitch, mind your business. And later on, Cynthia said she don't know why Drew was concerned with LaToya's drinking. Like, why? What does it matter? You know what I'm saying? I understand Drew has been behaving some type of way. But don't try to make it that. Like, so Drew goes and tries to make it just that. And she says, well, we're going to get to know the real you because is it because, no, she says, is it because you act some type of way when you're drunk? And at this time, she's still trying to bust her out. Like, she's still trying to embarrass her and kind of like put her on Front Street about her drinking. And I thought it was really in poor taste. Like, it was really, really nasty that she was doing that. And she did it in front of everybody. So Drew was like, I just don't want to drink, bitch. Like, she called her a bitch because you're being a bitch. Like, what are you doing? You're trying to bust me out, trying to make me look like a drunk in front of these people. Meanwhile, you're trying to make me look like a hypocrite because I came to church with you and you're not my mother and you're not the goddamn liquor monitor. So what the fuck are you doing? Are you a damn breathalyzer? What's going on? And I'm on a girls trip. Leave me alone. Like, yeah, so it made me upset. So then she said they went to church together and that LaToya got prayed for, that she went to a revival, and instead of making that something negative for LaToya, she should have praised LaToya for trying, because she's trying to get into her spirit and she's trying to get into, you know what I'm saying? So LaToya got so upset that she left lunch, which I would have done too. But Kenya went with her, and I didn't understand that at all. But mind you, she ain't leave. It just was tacky. It just was tacky the way it was done. And I thought that Kenya just didn't want to sit at the table with them girls because they don't necessarily like her. However, I felt like, damn, Cynthia is your homegirl. You just kind of left Cynthia out there to just dry if it was like that. If it was LaToya versus Cynthia, she's clearly choosing LaToya at this moment in several different ways since the season started. Even though, like I said, they don't get along no more. Okay. So anyway, so Portia and Drew, they start kikiing. And like I said, I really love them together. And I thought it was important that Cynthia at this dinner brought up the fact that what LaToya did to Farron at her home, in her own home, was unacceptable. And I think all of the ladies felt like they would have kicked her ass in that moment. I truly do. And so, yeah, so they get up and they leave, and the ladies are happy. They having a good time. So, yeah, here it is. So Portia and Drew, they start kikiing. Cynthia and Kenya, they start kikiing. Now, Kenya gonna have the nerve to say Drew comes off as a bully. Kenya, shut the fuck up. Shut your ass up. Shut it up. I'm talking about shut it all the way down and be quiet. You don't call nobody a bully. Don't you ever. Don't you fix your mouth to never call nobody a bully, because you know damn well you engage in the same damn activities. However, I do feel like Drew was trying to call LaToya out because I feel like her energy was coming from Portia. I really do. I feel like her and Portia have teamed up and now they're kind of like friends. And so she's getting this new energy. Okay. Now, Kenya know she needs to stop though. Okay. But anyway, so then she starts telling about how the man from the church invited her. And let me tell you what she said on the backup show. She said that she felt some type of way about the man at the church inviting her to the revival because she felt like they prayed for her and they did what God called them to do, and he was overstepping his boundaries. She didn't appreciate LaToya Ali being invited to that revival, but she said you can't stand in the way of God trying to, if somebody trying to work with God or God trying to work on somebody. So she let it be what it is. That's what she said. Okay. Now, Cynthia doesn't know why Drew cares about LaToya's drinking, but she doesn't understand that Drew just don't like her. Okay. Shamia walked in and Drew said that she just wanted to have a good time. And Portia was like, well, how we going to have a good time if y'all bitches keep bringing stuff up? Like, that seems to be what y'all want to do, is bring stuff up. My goodness. Okay, speculation about Marlo and Kenya came up. Portia is basically over it. She don't want to deal with Marlo because she don't really like the way Marlo started moving around her when she became friends with Portia. She basically started hashtagging the "it wasn't me" thing that Portia, that Kenya was trying to drudge up about Tanya and Portia, and that shit ain't cool. Okay. But Drew was like, Marlo just don't know how to be a friend. And that was that. But Portia agreed to meet up with her or whatnot, even though she was over it. So Drew been looking really good since they teased her at the beginning of the season. She's been looking a lot better than LaToya. And LaToya is the one who teased her. LaToya and them braids. I'm like, damn, how many episodes are you going to wear these braids? And she stayed wearing them. Even on the after shows that just came out, she's still in braids. But they're both beautiful girls for sure. Drew asked Cynthia to come to her iHeartRadio performance or guest show, whatever. And you know what? I'm glad to see Drew back working. I really am. I'm glad to see her back working after the game because it felt like the game was like the end of her, but it wasn't. But the fact that she's back working is really, really good. I'm glad to see her back up and going. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Candy makes it finally. Okay. And everybody's happy to see her. And Marlo come walking out like her back ain't never hurt. I told y'all Marlo be faking. Okay. They were talking about Robert, blah, 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 blah. So there's this guy, the guy that works at the hotel. His name is Robert. Okay. It turns out that Kenya really likes this guy because she was all online on Twitter harping about him. And just like he's just the greatest thing on earth. It just was like, okay, Kenya. But anyway, so Drew starts talking about Zydeco. And honey, when they start doing this Zydeco or Zydeco, I was so surprised. I was actually mad though at Candy because they were dancing and Candy was just standing there looking at like this. And I hate when she act all stiff like that. That gets on my damn nerve. There's no reason why you can't even put some effort and try unless your husband told you not to do that and you just don't want to make him look controlling. Like, come on now. Anyway, because when I saw her on the stage with Escape, she was doing some dance moves, some stuff. They was jumping all on them men and doing all of that. Anyway, so after the Zydeco, Portia went to go talk to Marlo because she said she felt like she was being fake. If she didn't go talk to Marlo, she would be being fake with how she feels about everything. So Marlo said, you stopped being friends with me because of Kenya, and you need to admit it. Portia said that Marlo didn't even invite her to the showroom, but you had Kenya there. And she like, well, Kenya called me and asked me, could I show? And then Portia like, I would like to support my friends, you know? So they talked about when Kenya and Portia had their kids playing together. And I always brought that up. whatever happened to that? That was crazy that that fell apart like it did, right? Then Portia said it's because Marlo it's only because Marlo was being a friend to her that Kenya suddenly wanted to turn Marlo on her and be Marlo's friend. And like, honestly, Cynthia don't give a damn, but Kenya has pretty much just pushed Cynthia to the side, honey. Okay. And Cynthia don't give a damn because she don't want to hear all that drama and shit coming from Kenya all the time. I bet you it drains her. I'm telling you, I know it has to. Okay, Portia says it's because Marlo was friends with her and that there's no other reason. Marlo said, is Kenya lying about Bolo? And then Portia was upset. She was like, yes, she's lying. And she said, now one of her other friends have asked her that. Why would her friends be asking her, is she having sex with a stripper? And then she said, why do Kenya feel comfortable talking to you, my friend, about me? And that's so true. Marlo, if you wasn't sitting up discussing Portia, why the fuck would Kenya feel so comfortable talking about it? So then Portia says Marlo is being manipulated and that she's been being manipulated for 3 weeks. Marlo says that she's going to now check Kenya. She's going to straighten Kenya out, get Kenya together when she mentions it because it's not true. And she's just doing it for 3 weeks just to fuck with Portia, even though Portia is not responding to it. So then while they're having this talk, Shamia is in the cab with the other ladies and her and Kenya is getting into it. Kenya is calling Shamia a lapdog and telling her that Portia ain't even loyal to her as she is to Portia. It was crazy. By the time Portia and Marlo got back on the bus, honey, they didn't want to talk. And everybody was really trying to get that, you know, they was prying for information like they do. But they was letting it be known that they weren't going to talk about it. You're going to have to see it on camera. And I wouldn't talk about it either because obviously it was about Kenya. And don't nobody want to hear Kenya's mouth on this bus, honey. And that's basically what that was about. And I just feel like, wow. I just feel like it just was a mess. I just couldn't stand it. It just was a mess. Kenya, I don't know what Portia did to her to make her not like her so much, but to have to be in the presence of someone that has a campaign against you, that shit's gotta be hard, okay? And I wish that Kenya would stop making all her work environment so toxic. I really do. Not toxic, but toxic. Yeah, that was a mess. That was a mess. Okay, you guys. So I'm going to open up the next show. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Which was Tammy and Waka. Oh my God, this one was a heart jerker. This one was a heart jerker. This one was so sad, y'all. It was really, really sad. Just find it. Oh, Waka and Tammy. Okay. So let me get you guys to the screen. This one had me really sad, you guys. I'm like so sad to even talk about it because this is sad. Okay, Charlie is having some issues, okay? Waka and Tammy say that the parents are putting pressure on their marriage, okay? He did his little dance with the baby girl with Charlie at the beginning of the episode, and it was really cute. Tammy kept messing with them. It was really cute. The little girlfriend was there. She's really cute. She seems really innocent. She's a cute little girl, but they wanted Tammy to go. She was just making them uncomfortable, okay? So she again brought up the fact that she missed her quinceañera for a little boy. You can tell that Tammy, okay, so the quinceañera is at 15 years old. If you are missing your quinceañera at 15 years old for a boy, then your ass is fast. Like, that's ridiculous. And it explains why she feels comfortable letting her daughter have a girlfriend and all that shit at the age of 14. And like, there's no fucking way you finna be coming home telling me about your relationship problems at 14. Focus on school, focus on your books, okay? Because what you doing right now, focusing on ass and pussy and all this shit, that's not gonna help you stay focused on your quantum physics, okay? Period. So anyway, but aside from that, okay, it was just, it was, So Waka didn't want to take the moment away from Charlie's father. He wanted Charlie's father to have this dance, but Charlie wanted for her father to start the dance and for Waka to end the dance because Waka came in her life when she was 4 years old, and he's been there ever since. Tammy wants them both to split the dance amongst her fathers. Okay, but Waka is adamant he don't want to take this moment away. He said that he's not mad at her father because being mad at her father don't get nowhere. He doesn't like Charlie, however, being hurt, and that it's all about his child. Now Charlie wants to she's saying to her mom, because after this scene, her and her mom, they sit down, they kind of talk. After this scene, Charlie is saying that she wants to gain some weight. So this was telling me Charlie is talking about she want to gain weight. She's saying she's gay. This is telling me that she's having issues with her identity. Okay, I'm not saying that gay people are have an identity crisis. I'm saying all of it put together, mixed with her age, is letting me know that she's having issues with her identity. And so it kind of made me a little bit sad for her. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, but she talks about that, and I don't remember what else they talked about. I think they talked about Charlie dating, and she said that she was dating in the 7th grade. It was crazy. She said that she was a femme. If she was a femme or a stud, she would be the femme. And her mom was trying to figure out, Tammy trying to figure out what her girlfriend is, which is a stud. So she calls her Shintomin. Yeah, she said, does she want the rest of the family to know, which was big. And Charlie was like, I don't care. Like, she basically didn't care because they're gonna see it on TV anyway. Like, she was like, this is stupid, basically. But she had the nerve to ask Charlie, would she date her? Oh my God. Have your mother, oh my, that is the weirdest shit ever. Would you date me? Girl, hell no. Now, what if she had said, yeah, I would date you and you her mama. Now you got to walk around the house worried about what type of shirts and underwear you wearing around your daughter. You weirdo. Okay. I was like, oh no, she didn't. Just weird. So Waka was trying on this outfit he said was Nipsey Blue, right? Which was all good, but I'm sorry, he was looking like a fat ass, hot ass mess. I was like, why do you look like this? This man, he needs to get it together. This ain't it. I can't even find it. But Waka looked like a fat, hot, nasty, I'm talking about nasty old fat mess. And I don't know why Tammy is not calling him out and making that man get in the gym. Get his ass in the gym now. I mean, ew. Okay. Anyways, child. So Deb asked him if he's ready for the baby to grow up, and he's like basically saying she needs to mentally grow up, even though she's saying she want to move out at 18. Okay, but he says that Tammy is trying to think for Charlie instead of thinking with her, and they're clashing because of their parenthood, which is a bad thing. They're really clashing. They're really not having a good time. So next, little Charlie is learning how to drive, which I thought was cute, but she had got nervous. So Waka had to take over. She's talking about she want a G-Wagon or a Mercedes for her first car. She doing a lot. And Waka was like, yeah, you could end up getting a Honda. And then he pointed out the differences again in him and Tammy's parenting style. He basically is calling Tammy a momzilla, says she's trying to live vicariously through her daughter. And I think that's true. I see a little bit of that. And then she was like, she could do all that. She could do all that momzilla she want, but she ain't doing it at my wedding. I thought that was funny. It was really cute. So Tammy was talking about her baby daddy and how her baby daddy hate her more than he loved Charlie. And I fucking hate the fact that this has to play out on TV with her father, because she's going to watch this back and be in pain so many different times. He's going to have to watch it back and hear what Waka said and watch Waka do his part. I mean, it's going to be bad in the future, okay? But I hate to see Charlie hurting the way she is because of his neglectful ways. He truly isn't just neglecting Charlie, for real. But Charlie has started breaking down crying because of this auntie right here. They were in the mall. She started breaking down crying because her auntie passed away. And Tammy was just like, call her kids. If you can't call her kids. And it was good to see that, you know, that her grandma was there for her. But she's going through something. You know, she really just stressed out due to like deaths and planning this quinceañera and having to come out as gay. She really going through a lot. And I'm telling you guys, by the end of this episode, I was crying. I was I was literally bawling crying. So, so this is their family. And she asked Charlie, do she want to call her dad? Because ultimately she knows that Charlie does care if her dad comes or not. And Charlie was just saying that she, you know, she don't care. I don't care. She doesn't have any respect for him. And a family member was saying, you know, family, us as women, we try to put on a hard front, but she cares, you know. So the big day comes. Charlie is nervous about her father ruining her party. And she looks beautiful. You know, everything looked beautiful. She made her entrance. I might cry, y'all, because I've been really emotional today, but I'm trying to keep it together. Hold up. Let me swallow that. Okay. So Charlie's girlfriend gets up and makes a statement talking about, I love her. And Charlie over here talking about she wifey material, child. I said, see, this the shit I'm talking about. Not at no 15 years old. Child, if y'all don't sit y'all clap and munch it, listen. But it was cute. But they're delusional. For real. And I think Tammy needs to put a cap on that before that get any further. Okay. So then Waka started talking. And then Tammy started talking. Now, Waka told her that she was God's gift to him. And when Tammy started talking, she started saying that she thought that her life was ruined when she had gotten pregnant. And that, you know, she, that she learned from it, and that Charlie has been the best thing that's ever happened, that she can never love nobody in the world as much as she loved her child. And that was that. And it was so emotional. They were crying, but I know that they were crying because her dad hadn't showed up. And that's why it's hard for me to watch this episode without crying. I'm trying. But so while she was dancing with Waka, y'all, I'm trying so hard. She turned around and looked at her mother, and she just broke down in tears. She just broke down in tears, and it was hard for me to watch, and it pissed me off. It pissed me off. This baby, look at her. You know, and it pissed me off, man. I'm crying right now because that baby girl is beautiful, and she have done nothing wrong to that grown ass man for him to not be there for her. And it was just really emotional, the fact that he didn't show up. It hurt my feelings for her because, you know, it has to play out on camera. You know what I'm saying? And she has to continue to watch that over and over again and watch herself in pain. You know what I'm saying? These people, they watch this stuff. Pluto TV plays this stuff constantly over and over again. When the season turns to, when they get 2 seasons after this, they'll be playing this over and over again somewhere. Somebody on a different side of the country will be just first seeing it and commenting on her Twitter. And it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm really disappointed at that dude. But to see Waka, to be able to talk her down like that, it really was beautiful. But it was emotional, and it really made me emotional, y'all. I hurt my feelings for her because she was dancing, and it seemed normal, but then she just broke down because that was supposed to be her father. And, you know, she tried to play it like she don't care, but she do. You know what I'm saying? It was a very emotional episode. That's why they said marriage is emotional. But all right, guys, I must go work out because I definitely have to get it in today. Definitely a tearjerker for sure. I got to wipe this from my eyes and go get my workout on. All right, guys, check me out on my channel, Tox Talks from here. That's where I will be next. I will see you guys there. Peace and love.